Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Nightly News. I'm your host, Lex Diginopoulos. Let's start off the show with a Furman success story. This past week, Furman alum Alex Stubb was elected to be the next president of Finland. Stubb came to Furman to play golf and graduated with a BS in political science in 1993. In 2014, he was awarded with an honorary doctorate of philosophy and served as the commencement speaker that year. Stubb is a member of the Finnish National Coalition Party and received around 56.1% of the votes. The Finnish voters felt he was suited for his role because he was previously elected as the Prime Minister of Finland and has extensive political experience. He will serve as the President of Finland for the next 6 years. Turning to some health news now, you may have noticed some of your friends around campus have been feeling under the weather. The flu, strep, and COVID have all been circulating around Furman for a few months. Sadly, this isn't just a Furman-specific phenomenon. The CDC's weekly report showed that South Carolina currently has a high influenza rate. Common flu symptoms include a fever, chills, sore throat, runny nose, body aches, and fatigue. Caroline Coates of the Earl Health Center offers some advice on how we can prevent the spread of the flu.
Cover your cough. Get the vaccine. If you're not feeling well, don't go to class, email your professors, but wash your hands, try to get enough sleep, stress reduction, eat healthy foods, make sure you're hydrated, all that.
If you're having any symptoms, don't hesitate to schedule an appointment with the Earl Health Center on MyChart or by calling the number listed on the back of your Furman ID. As many of you prepare to head to fun destinations for spring break, we found some things that you might want to be aware of at the Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport.
2024 is set to be a record-breaking year for the airport.
So GSP is growing, we're glad the upstate is growing, we're glad we're getting more passengers in.
But in order to support the growth, they must work through construction, meaning more traffic and higher wait times ahead of spring break travels. Junior Katie Faust shares her concern.
As a Greenville native, I'm very used to driving through GSP, but I know a lot of people that are new to the area, especially college students who will be traveling over spring break, are not. So that raises some concerns for me because they don't know what they're doing, so it'll make it hard. And then I know the people that I am traveling with have never flown through GSP Airport, and I understand why they might be confused, especially with traffic and with construction going on. That's a lot more confusing than just a typical airport.
If you're planning on flying out this spring break, here are some tips to follow.
We typically recommend arriving 2 hours early no matter what is going on at our airport, just so that you have time to park, get through construction, as well as any thing that may come up at checking in, whether you're self-check-in or you have to go to our check-in desk. We never know what's going to happen at security, but we do typically recommend 2 hours to give yourself enough time to get through security, make sure you have everything that you need to get to your gate and get settled at the end of the day. We also recommend checking with your airlines, downloading an app if you have that, following for updates with your airline provider, as well as looking online at gsp.com or gspairport.com to check for any travel delays that we may have. Outside of arriving 2 hours early, we do typically recommend that passengers check with TSA's website on what is approved and what is not approved, so that way you're not getting held up at the security line.
No matter where you're flying from this travel season, you may want to consider leaving some extra time in your schedule. We just gave you some travel tips on flying out of GSP for spring break, but your future travel may look a little bit different thanks to Breeze Airways. In May, Breeze Airways will be launching 5 new direct routes from Greenville-Spartanburg International Airport. Breeze's new flights will service Los Angeles, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Orlando, and Tampa, with fares as low as $76. With new spots being added, it seems the electric car-only parking spots are consuming our lots on campus, but there are a few electric cars to fill them. Our own Blythe Novak looked into why this shift is occurring.
Parking is getting increasingly more scarce around campus as Furman adds many electric car-only parking spots to already limited lots. I got to speak with Jack Sledesky, one of the few electric car owners around campus, to get the scoop.
I think the school is probably trying to push more people to bring electric cars to school, trying to put out a more green message.
While Furman may be trying to progress to a more green campus, these spots currently are not in demand and are causing frustration among students.
I'm the only one right now, I think, in the sophomore class that uses an electric car, so I have 4 spots for one car, and I think that's probably too much for now, but I think in the future with more people probably bringing in electric cars now that they're adding more spots, I think it'll be more useful then.
After speaking with Jack, I reached out to Furman Facilities to learn more about the updates and what to expect. Director of Facilities Services Rick Shosky explained that there have been 16 electric car spots added, with 4 more in progress. Facilities says that they were prompted to add them due to demand, but that so-called demand is not visible on campus.
The past year, I've seen them put in a bunch of new parking spots. These spots behind me are actually, I think, new this year, so I've definitely seen an increase.
We reached out to the Furman Police Department to get the exact number of electric cars registered on campus, but are pending response. For now, make sure to observe the signs in the parking lots to avoid penalty. I'm Blythe Novick reporting for the Nightly News. Back to you, Lexia.
Thank you, Blythe. Up next, we talk about Black History Month on campus. This week, we continue to celebrate Black History Month by educating Black students on how to navigate post-grad life. Students gathered at the Southern Culture to have dinner with 2018 alumni Daniel Fowler. At this dinner, he gave students advice on how to stay true to your identity no matter what, while advocating for yourself in the workplace. This was the first time the Malone Center hosted this dinner, but sources tell us that this will be the first of many. Another Black History Month on campus was hosted by Furman's NAACP. Our Jada Walker has more.
On Tuesday, Furman's faculty, staff, and students gathered around to celebrate 115 years of NAACP. This celebration included singing of the Black National Anthem, a poem, and more. President Miles Baker tells us why it's important to celebrate NAACP.
Taking the time to reflect on all the work that you've done is a really important thing that I think you can celebrate at a Founders Day celebration like tonight. And also I think it's important to recognize the history of the organization that you're a part of, and seeing how you're part of a continued legacy and trying to be the best you can and fighting the good fight.
W.E.B. Du Bois, Ida B. Wells Barnett, and Mary Church founded NAACP 115 years ago, and that legacy of advocating in Black communities still remains today. To learn more on how you can get involved with the NAACP, email President Miles Baker at miles.baker@furman.edu. Want to take a quick study break? Here's your chance. On Wednesday in Patrick Lecture Hall at 7 p.m., Furman's Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority will host Spades Night. Students can come out to play a game of spades, or if you don't know how to play, they'll teach you. Registration for this event is on LinkedIn. There are over 36 million pickleball players in the U.S., and as we found out, the game is pretty popular on Furman's campus too. Micah Robinson hit the courts for this story.
Yes, that is true. The sport has gained popularity over the last few years, and the biggest ages serving up, ages 18 to 34.
It's very frustrating to come back from classes, and I want to go to the pickleball courts and they're not open. And usually when they're not open, you have to wait till 9 p.m., 10 p.m., and by that time you're ready to shower, get in bed, and do your homework.
Now, picture this. These are the only 2 pickleball courts on Furman's campus, which is causing this frustration. The demand for pickleball courts is clear as they fall short, and we're hoping Furman can serve up a solution for more courts so students can throw out their frustrations.
When the weather gets nicer like it is right now, all the students want to go out to the pickleball courts, but the issue is we only got 2 of them, and they're always full. There's never any space, and you never know when they'll be free. If Furman adds a few more pickleball courts, and it'll give students another chance to work out without having to leave the campus, and it'd be a big help to all the students here.
After hearing students' behind-the-scene looks, we hope Furman University can set up some solutions to ease frustrations.
Although there are not enough pickleball courts on campus, there are more pickleball courts you can play at near the university. This is Michael Robinson reporting for Nightly News.
McPherson Park has 2 tennis courts with pickleball lines, but Gower Park will soon have 10 pickleball courts that are under construction right now and expected to be open this summer. Not only are we celebrating Black History Month, but right here on campus, we celebrated the Lunar New Year. Let's join Deisha, who is in Watkins, to witness the festivities.
Thank you. I'm at Watkins, where the Chinese Students Association and the Asian Student Association are celebrating the Chinese Lunar New Year.
Over 250 people have gathered to witness the celebration of Chinese New Year at Furman University. Let's talk about treats, bubble tea. It was served on first-come, first basis, and trust me, it disappeared faster than a shooting star. But don't worry, there were plenty to go around, from crispy spring rolls to savory dumplings. The snack tables are a feast. And guess what? There were plenty for everybody.
It is an honor to be in this gala celebrating Chinese New Year with all the students from Furman. I really enjoyed it. I hope that we can continue this tradition every year so we can get everyone involved.
I'm totally enjoying Chinese New Year. My friends, family sending me food, enjoying at home at Furman with students, and after this we'll have a party. Just fantastic throughout.
And what's a celebration without giveaways? Lucky red envelopes filled with good fortune were making their way around. Inside, students can find a token to win a gift. After that, there were surprise gifts for students that was thrown to the crowd. There were so many beautiful performances. We've got singing, traditional dance, to Chinese pop dance. The crowd is buzzing with the excitement.
I'm so excited that Furman had Lunar New Year Festival today on campus. They had boba, traditional dances, traditional singing, and also some lottery. There was no money prizes, but it was still fun. And I'm so happy that they're doing this because it's so important to share culture and diversity and share what other cultures do for fun.
新年快乐! I'm so happy that Furman let us put this on. It's wonderful to experience new cultures, and I think it's really great that we're expanding the different countries that we cover, and I'm just so glad we got to celebrate something I love so much at home.
Whether you're here with us or watching from your comfort place, I wish you a very happy New Year. Back to you.
That looked like a fun celebration. We're almost halfway through the semester, and some of you still need to get those CLPs in. So here's a look at what we have to choose from this week. Furman Theater's production of Screen Time will be showing at the Playhouse from February 20th until the 25th. This new comedy was written by Furman's own professor, Margaret Catarasano. Set within a PR firm, mischief, romance, and technology all collide in this unconventional tale. Tickets are available now. On Monday, February 19th, there will be a Women in Healthcare CLP starting at 6:30 in Burgess. You will have the opportunity to hear from Furman graduates as they discuss their influence on the health industry. Go hear exactly how these women are making an impact. Wow, women are definitely trendsetters in the art and health industries. The holiday celebrations continued this past Tuesday at the annual Valentine's Day dance for adults with exceptionalities. The Best Buddies Club partners with Heller Service Corps for this sweet event. Students volunteer time to spend their night dancing with buddies from Thrive Upstate. The dance was one way that helps buddies connect with students of members of the intellectual and developmental disability community.
My favorite moment with Best Buddies, I have a buddy that I share with my friend Summer. His name is Cliffy, and he is hilarious. He is the biggest prankster. He will never fail to prank anybody he meets. I don't care if he met you 2 seconds ago or has known you for 2 years, he's going to prank you.
If you are interested in having your very own buddy, follow the club on Instagram at Furman Best Buddies and be on the lookout for their next event. The Best Buddies weren't the only ones celebrating Valentine's Day this week. Let's go to Marissa Chavez to see how much love is in the air.
As you all know, it's Valentine's Day. Let's go find ourselves a Valentine. All right, what's your name?
I'm Ainsley Arnold. Caroline Tanis.
Miles Baker.
Do you have a Valentine today?
Actually I do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Who is it?
Her name's Liz.
My mom.
Have you come mine?
Where is she?
Right over there.
Oh my gosh, let's go give it to her.
Okay.
Are you Evie?
Yes.
Are you Liz?
Yes.
Is this your Valentine?
Yes.
Will you be her Valentine?
Of course.
Do you accept Caroline's Valentine's gift?
I do.
Happy Valentine's Day, Mom.
What's your name?
Shay Bonner.
Dana. Is there someone you want to give a chocolate Valentine to this week?
I'll give some chocolate to my good friend Cole.
Do you have a Valentine this week?
I have a Galentine.
Oh my gosh, who is it?
Miss Micah Clark.
Do you want to give her a piece of chocolate?
I would love to.
Let's do it. Are you Micah?
I am.
Do you want to be her Valentine?
I would love to be your Valentine.
Cole, do you want some chocolate?
Yeah.
This is from your Valentine.
Thank you.
Wow, look at all that love. This has been Marissa with the Nightly News. But, Lexia, I have one more question for you. Will you be my Valentine?
Oh my gosh, of course I'll be your Valentine, Marissa. So glad that we got to spread some love on campus this week. Let's turn to sports now to see if the Dins were feeling the love on the courts.
We begin with sports on the track, where the Dins were certainly feeling the love, as they set some new records this past weekend at the David Hemery Valentine Invitational in Boston. Let's check it out.
For starters, 6th-year Cameron Ponder set a new Furman record in the men's 3,000 meter with a time of 7 minutes and 48 seconds, breaking the former Paladin record of 7 minutes and 49 seconds in 2020. Ponder ranks among the NCAA's top 25 in the event this season. We might be looking at a soon-to-be natty champ. Next, sophomore Cameron Wennerstein won her heat and took 8th overall in the women's 1,000 meter, setting a new Paladin record with a time of 2 minutes and 46 seconds. On top of these new school records, the team set numerous personal records in Boston. Junior Nick Goldstein finished the men's 5,000 meter with a time of 14 minutes 9 seconds, a 19-second personal best. Sophomore Luke Taylor came up behind Goldstein with a time of 14 minutes and 31 seconds, shaving 10 seconds off his personal record. Finally, in the women's 3,000 meter, 5th-year Abigail Robertson came in with a PR of 9 minutes and 20 seconds, and 5th-year Nicole Matishik finished just behind Robertson with a PR of 9 minutes and 50 seconds.
Thanks, Joanna. What a memorable meet for these Dins. We'll see if they keep breaking records this coming weekend at the USC Invite in Columbia, South Carolina. The men's tennis team just served up their third straight win this past Sunday against Xavier University at McKell Tennis Center. Let's check it out. The match opened with junior Cole Burnham and sophomore Alex Hahn winning doubles with a score of 6-4. In the second match, sophomore Thomas Kennedy and junior Connor Lehman secured the doubles points after playing together for the first time this season. The Dins took 3 consecutive wins as they opened single matches with victories from Thomas Kennedy, freshman Dale Boney, and Walker Allen, who won his match 7-5. While the Musketeers won the third match in 3 sets, Lehman fought back to secure Furman's 5-1 lead. Lehman then clinched the victory with a 10-7 win in the final set. What a game for these Dins. While the team deserves their break this weekend, they will be preparing to take on a 7-match trip at Clemson and Jacksonville State next weekend. The women's lacrosse team opened their season Wednesday night against Clemson University, who is currently ranked number 21 in the country. Let's check out the action. This matchup began slow on the offensive side for Furman as they struggled picking up the momentum to get in rhythm in the first quarter. Clemson quickly put up the first 2 scores at the beginning of the first quarter. Following that, they scored again, leaving Furman with a 3-0 deficit to end the first. In the last 2 quarters, Furman did put up a better offensive fight, but were unable to make it happen, missing a few critical goals that could have possibly given them a chance to win the game. The women's lacrosse team ended up losing 11-5 to the Tigers. They look to rebuild momentum back up on February 18th when they host Kennesaw State at 11 a.m. Men's basketball took on conference opponent VMI yesterday, leading to a dominant win for the Dins. Here are some of the highlights from last night's game. In a pivotal game during the final stretch of the season, the Paladins did not disappoint. The trio was sophomore Ben Vanderwall, junior J.P. Pegues, and senior Marcus Foster combined for over 40 of the Paladins' points. Vanderwall set a career-high 15 points and 13 rebounds as the Paladins shot 42% from the field and nearly 30% from deep. In a tight game at the start of the second half, the Dins executed, going on a 20-1 run to put them comfortably in the lead for the rest of the game. The Dins are 14-12 this season and hope to finish strong. Their next game is slated for Sunday at 2 o'clock against Chattanooga in Timmons Arena. Women's basketball fell to UNC Greensboro 56-59. It was a tight game throughout, but stagnant scoring from Furman caused them to give up the lead in the fourth quarter. On the bright side, Dins guard Nevaeh Henley dropped a career-high 24 points. However, they did bounce back and top Western Carolina 58-53. After not leading all game, the Paladins were able to come from behind and win in the final minutes thanks to a and one layup from Jada Sessions. Saturday night, men's basketball ended their two-game skid, topping ETSU 65-63. After being behind for most of the second half, in the late minute, JP Pegues was able to draw a foul to tie the game and then another foul to win it. Women's tennis dropped both their matches in West Virginia this weekend against Louisville and Marshall, both 2-5. Softball started their season at a tournament in Wilmington, North Carolina this weekend. They won their first two games against North Dakota State and DePaul. They kept rolling on Saturday and Sunday, beating Northern Kentucky and splitting with UNC Wilmington. Overall, it's an incredible start to the season for softball, leaving the tournament with a 4-1 record. It's another busy weekend for the Furman Paladins, with many teams hoping to bounce back. Women's basketball looks to make it 2 in a row at Timmins when they host Wofford tonight at 7. Wofford is led by Rachel Rose, who is the current favorite for SoCon MVP. She's going to have a tough evening against Jada Sessions. Women's tennis will host Harvard at 11 on Saturday and Liberty at 3 on Monday. Softball is off to a hot start following their season opener at Wilmington last weekend. They will start their home slate with another packed weekend at Pepsi Stadium on Friday. They'll take on IUPUI at 7. They'll have a doubleheader with Townsend and Georgetown Sunday at 2, and then they'll finish with the tournament with Lipscomb. Men's basketball will be back in the national spotlight once again this Sunday at home against Chattanooga on CBS Sports Network. The Mocs are second in the SoCon, led by sophomore guard Honor Huff. On Wednesday, the Dens will travel to Birmingham to take on Samford. The Bulldogs have been able to right the ship since their loss in Timmins back in January. Expect their high-flying offense to be a headache for the Dens, even though they were nowhere to be found in their last meeting. That's it for your upcoming games. This past week, we celebrated National Women in Sports Day on February 8th. Joanna Lunsford has the story.
Here we are in Timmins Arena, where the women's basketball team played on Sunday and were recognized for their contribution to women in sports. This day serves as a reminder for the progress made in women's sports and the work needed to ensure equal opportunities for female athletes.
What comes to mind when I think of women in sports is just how strong we are as women, and how we're just so diligent, and how we're just so hardworking, resilient. Just women are just awesome, and women in sports should get more recognition for what we do on an everyday basis.
Since its inception in 1987, this National Day has served as a platform to recognize the accomplishments of female athletes. It also aims to promote gender equality and encourage girls and women to participate in athletics, no matter the level.
A stereotype we have to change is women are only good for just like staying home and kind of just being that like mom at home or like woman at home, and we can be in sports as well just as much as men are in sports, and we should, like I said, get the recognition that we deserve, and I think that definitely needs to change.
Furman has been actively involved in celebrating its female athletes for decades. Furman typically hosts events and activities to honor the achievements of female athletes, such as panel discussions, athlete showcases, and community outreach programs. I'm excited to see what Furman continues to do for their fearless athletes as they continue rewriting the playbook on and off the field. I'm Joanna Lunsford, reporting for the Nightly News.
Thank you, Joanna. These women are shattering stereotypes and advocating for champion change while paving the way for future generations of female athletes. Club sports are another way for students to get involved with athletics at Furman. The men's club volleyball team is looking to make an impact this season, and they have a secret weapon. Ella Harrison has that story.
The men's club volleyball team kicks off their season this weekend. This year, they have some aces in their pocket.
I love that companionship, that brotherhood, and that's what we're trying to offer here.
Juan Obregon is a co-president of the team. He got involved with the team his freshman year after connecting with the club at a student involvement fair.
A lot of the guys there love playing volleyball, which is great, especially here in the South. It's not as popular.
After a slow start to the season, Obregon called for assistance. Enter current volleyball player and right side hitter Chandler Parker.
We thought about bringing in people who actually play the sport their whole lives pretty much, and put in the work, put in the grind, and kind of represent Furman at a bigger level.
He approached me and a couple of my teammates at the end of our volleyball season and asked if we'd be interested in just coming and watching a practice and helping them think of drills in December. And after December, we decided that we just wanted to coach them because we saw how talented they are.
Obregon says that the players respect Parker and crew because of their own volleyball careers.
They've seen us on the court and they know that everything that we're teaching them we can do and we can demonstrate.
Parker says it's a winning hit seeing the players around campus.
Has been really cool, and honestly I would love for us to tell other athletes on campus to maybe do the same thing. If they have a friend on a club team that is willing to learn and wants to grow in their sport, as long as they're open to taking feedback and being coached, then it's really a win-win for both.
This partnership is certainly a great way to bridge the gap between student athletes and the rest of the student body. You can catch the men's club volleyball team in action this Saturday, the 17th at Clemson, where you can see Chandler Parker coaching from the sidelines. I'm Ella Harrison reporting for Nightly News.
Thanks, Ella. Another year passes and another year goes by. I can't tell my favorite Valentine's joke. Would you like to hear it?
I'd love to hear it.
Why do you have dinner on Valentine's?
I don't know, Ryan, why?
So you can have a hearty meal. I'm Ryan Lamb.
And I'm Lexi Giannopoulos.
Thanks for watching Nightly News.